Before we get into some of the other thoughts we have, would you like to say three nice things about the film? We'll take turns. I thought it was quite sexy when he picked her up by the bodice.
Mm.
You go.
I did have a third.
God.
What was it? Um, I think. Oh God. We should say that this bonus episode of Stack has got some graphic language in it that is definitely not suitable for younger ears, and we'll be covering wall-to-wall spoilers for the new Wuthering Heights film if you've not seen it yet. Welcome to Stack with Jake and Ella, a books podcast that's here to help you fall in love and stay in love with reading. My name is Jake. I'm a writer and podcast producer.
And I'm Ella. I work in book publishing. Normally, we build a themed list of books.
Normally we plan a lot.
Normally we plan a lot. This
We've got
week,
a special one.
we're hopping on because we saw Wuthering Heights last night.
We're so hot off seeing Wuthering Heights. We saw it 12 hours ago.
We've got so much to say about Wuthering Heights that we thought we'd better put out a bonus episode to share our thoughts.
And we're coming at it from very different angles. So it's one of my top 3 favourite books ever.
Yeah, I think I've read it.
She's not sure.
I don't remember.
So
I would have said moors, yearning, Heathcliff, it's
me,
and
Kathy,
Kathy,
I've come home now.
Yeah, so those are the kind of touch points for me. I don't have a particularly fond relationship with it. As you can tell, I couldn't tell most things that happened in it. And I'd say, not to jump ahead, but during the film quite a few times I was like, Jake, is this in the book?
And at one point I said, we haven't been on book for about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I will also caveat really quickly that I wanted to love this. Like, I don't think it's like a great like intellectual thing to be like, it wasn't as good as the book. And
yeah,
I know
you
it
can make a
better,
great
and
film
you can
that strays wildly from the source material.
And
You can.
throw anything in there, throw in a Charlie XX soundtrack, throw in like amazing visuals, change the plot, chop it up.
Yeah.
Love.
Sure. And I thought, so on approach to the cinema, we said, what do you think you're going to rate this? You said...
Well, I had seen all the very derisive reviews.
Yeah.
Then I'd had a couple of very close friends say they loved it.
Yeah.
So I was feeling really, really, really hopeful. And I was thinking...
You said 1, but I think you're being funny.
I was being funny. I was actually hoping you were expecting like a 5.
Okay. I thought it would be like a 7.
Yeah.
For me, because I quite like smut.
Quite like romance.
I quite like romance, and I don't have this like relationship with the original to compare it to. As we sat down in the cinema, I was getting more and more anxious because of the trailers they were playing at the start of the film, which included a trailer for Scream.
Which is a film that neither me nor Ella is ever going to go and watch.
Ever. And actually, I felt upset. At one point I said, it's 5 p.m. I didn't want there to be like stabbiness going on. And I was like, if this is what you're showing me in the trailers, I am worried about what we're about to see. You were actually having the time of your life. You were just in awe of the cinema.
Let's shout out the Light in Sheffield, which is the biggest cinema you'll ever go in with the nicest seats. It's the biggest room I've ever been in.
You said you had a sense of the sublime.
I said to you when I studied Wuthering Heights, they talk about like the sublime and like how like in Gothic fiction, like there's this idea that the world is so big and vast, and that's like a very specific
quite small
feeling of the sublime. And I had that in the Light Sheffield.
You just kept saying.
I just was looking at the ceiling like,
again.
How big is this place?
Yeah, so you were awed.
I was in all pre-film,
and I was anxious pre-film. Before we get into some of the other thoughts we have, would you like to say 3 nice things about the film? We'll take turns.
Okay. First nice thing about the film, we've got a new Charlie XX album. That's great.
That's great.
You?
I had no problem with the moors.
Lovely.
Quite wild, lovely rocks, some grasses.
Done.
Absolutely fine. You go.
The scene where Kathy's cold,
yeah,
which is classic her in the book,
yeah,
and Heathcliff breaks up the chair and throws it in the fire. Damn the consequences.
Yeah.
I thought of all the things you've added,
actually,
that is so good.
Okay, I thought it was quite sexy when he picked her up by the bodice.
You
go.
I did have a third.
God,
what was it? I think. Oh God, I
can do mine again.
I liked some of the visuals.
Okay, any particular one you want to shout out?
I liked the bit where you went over the hill and you saw Thrush Grange.
Yeah, that was a nice shot.
That was a nice shot.
My last one. Nice to see the boy from Adolescence.
What a talented man.
What a talented man.
He's so good.
I didn't have a problem with him.
That's good. Now, top line thoughts on the film.
It's really hard because we really don't like to slate things. Like, we're very much coming from a place of love, generally.
Yeah.
Generally. We love to love things. And if we don't like something if we haven't enjoyed a book, we'll just be like, that wasn't for me.
Yeah, and we don't talk about it on the pod.
But this one feels like a big bookish cultural moment that we want to talk about. And unfortunately, that was the worst film I've ever seen in my life.
And I really sadly agree. And I really wanted to love it. And I said to you on the way home that was like the devastating thing I could say. In my lifetime, I'd like there to be a good Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
I hated it so deeply. I was bored. I was fidgety. I was like grossed out unnecessarily.
40 minutes from the end, when I went to the loo and I just took my sweet time.
You did take your time.
I was just like, give me a break.
You walked out a funny moment though.
I walked out when it was the montage of sex scenes. And normally those are my favourite bits.
Yeah.
But first of all, like, really not sexy.
No.
Really not sexy
Fully
as a
clothed
film.
at all times.
Always with their clothes on. And not enough yearning for me to like build. I just thought it just didn't feel well done to me. But because then I had to like walk down. And so I like walked, by the time I got to the front, it was like the bosoms were so large on screen and I was just walking in front of it as everyone was watching.
You think that?
Yeah. Enjoy. But then when I came back from the loo, I was like, how long do we have left? And you were like, 40 minutes. And I said, should we go? Do we have to stay?
And we thought, because we are recording a podcast, we should probably watch the whole thing.
You said for the pod, I think we have to.
And I would have also loved it to turn around, or even turned around and then I felt better towards it. There were different interpretations of the book. I think often several people call it like a romance or a forbidden love story. That's not in any way the most interesting or only thing about the book or the story that I think is interesting. But
it's an interpretation though.
It's an interpretation. And I think to take that interpretation, add in all these kind of like sexual, like shocking moments, just like is not, for example, what is interesting about the book. The bread, the Kathy watching from above.
Yeah, where that woman has a bridle in her mouth.
One of my fundamental problems is that Emerald Fennell has said that you can't adapt a book as dense and vast as this. Mm-hmm. But I do think you can't say that and then add in scenes where men are being hanged and
oh God,
ejaculating.
Okay. Yeah. If
you're running out of space,
maybe leave that out. This is quite leading, but like, what were your red flags? Because by the time we got to the end, both of us were like waiting for it to be over. And I'd say at the deathbed scene, like by the time the leeches were on the wall, I got hysterical giggles and I couldn't stop laughing. And I was worried about how much I was shaking the cinema row, because I was thinking some people like further over to the left might be like having a little cry.
Yeah. And I think some people are watching that and crying and thinking like, what horrible, tragic end.
I was just thinking like this shot with like the blood everywhere and the leeches all over the wall. And I was just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing? And then
I got the giggles.
And again, I don't want to like be the person sat here being like a prude. I didn't need to see that much blood in when she's dying, because I actually thought that's really horrible. It's really sad when she dies. Like,
very voyeuristic
and like extreme, and like turning Isabella Linton into like a dog barking on the floor. That actually was the breaking point for me. That
was the breaking point for me as well. What were your points where you were like, I'm worried about this, and now I'm more worried?
From the opening scene, from the opening scene, that was ridiculous.
The opening scene, I thought everybody looked like a pirate.
Yeah.
There was so much eyeliner.
Yeah.
And then that like shot of this man being hung, coming in his pants.
Yeah. Let that sit with you for a minute. Let it sit with you that someone has chosen. Someone has read Wuthering Heights and thought, yeah, that's probably the way to kick this.
That's how I'll start this. And I was just like, oh, and you'd warn me on the way, and you're like, I've heard, because I worried that I
did flag that to you.
I hadn't looked at the BBFC rating details, which I always do because I'm a complete wimp. So I have to check, like, why is this a 15? If it's injury, detail, violence, sexual threat, then I can't deal with it. If it's language, drugs, nudity, bring it on.
Sure.
So I said, what do you think? I haven't looked it up. And you were like, there's one scene at the beginning that I've heard about, but I can't fathom why they would open Wuthering Heights with that.
That leaked months ago from like a test screening, and I saw it online and I thought, someone's having a laugh.
Yeah.
They're playing a prank here where they've shown something that's like, or someone's made
and it's out of context. And actually, you
Yeah.
dwell on that scene for such a long time, like you say, for someone who says you can't fit in all the bits from the book. You dwell on that scene for a really long time. So that was an immediate, huge, glaring red flag. Then there were bits like, there was this weird, like a porny Disney vibe to a lot of it, where it would like her in her wedding dress walking to her wedding across the moor.
Yeah.
But then like the snow and then her like nightgown. It was like a cling film.
Which again, like, I'm not particularly precious about costumes. Use a fabric that didn't exist in 1801. I don't give a flying fuck.
But it was so like Disneyfied, and then with the snow falling and these like really red skies. And I just couldn't work out what we were trying to say.
I don't think anything was said. So there's some fundamental changes in the book, which, as discussed, if you're going to change the book, fine.
Yeah.
If you've got a real reason to do that, fine. It just feels like particularly like galling to sit there and be like, you've just thrown away an amazing, interesting, like difficult book to make this like it all turns into just like a man and a woman having an affair.
Yeah.
And I have seen that story
boring
8 million times.
And when she was doing the barking like a dog and she was chained up and then she was winking and like crawling across the floor, panting. First of all, I thought that character earlier on in the film, I was thinking like, oh, she's like, I had the thought, this is a character I'm actually enjoying watching a bit more. Like,
yeah,
she was like kind of interesting, very strange. And then I thought, oh, you've just overdone it here. Like, this is so hammy. And I found a lot of it so cringe.
There was a tweet that was like, Emerald Fennell is like the girl at school that like says something really disgusting and then like looks around to see who heard. And that is just like how I feel about this film. And I loved her previous films. I was so ready to give her, like, I was ready to give her all of it.
I didn't watch Saltburn.
Yeah.
Again, I looked at the BBFC and saw what scenes were in it, and I just thought, oh, you're all right, thanks. I think people are just watching that, like you say, because it's shocking.
I liked Saltburn. I thought it wasn't, there were shocking bits that I could have done without. That's maybe a personal taste thing, but like, there was still like some substance substance. And I just thought the substance here was gone.
And having not known the plot of the book very well for me, I just was like, what are we doing? What is the plot? I couldn't.
Yeah.
There was nothing. I think if you know the plot of the book, maybe you fill in a few bits and that helps you with the narrative. But for me, I was like, all they're doing is shouting and screaming at each other. And then they're having sex. And then they hate each other again.
And even in this version, I felt like all the characters who are like extreme and dangerous and violent and fiery, just all neutered, like all just completely devoid of Heathcliff, like soppy, like, but I love you, stay with me. Like, that isn't what the point is. And then he just turns into like this evil person who's chaining up a woman.
Which didn't make any sense to me when he'd been like,
it just completely
cold,
flipped.
let me wrap your coat around you.
Yeah.
And like, I'll always love you. I'll never stop loving you. I'll never let you go. Which sounds like not really the vibe from the book anyway. But if that's the vibe we're going with in the film, then can we make this like a narrative arc for the character that makes sense?
Because there is an arc where he is like that as a kid, and life and circumstances and the constant racism, classism is what means that he
changes,
sees the world as a harmful place. I think we probably should talk about the race.
I don't know the book well enough, so you tell me what is the role of race in the book?
I think there are amazing articles and videos that you can watch where people are deep diving and they're going through all the quotes, and there is historical context of when Bronte was writing and the time she was writing about, and then our understanding now. All of those things are like nuanced and complicated and difficult.
Yeah.
Where I've come to is ultimately the fact that Heathcliff is racially othered in the book is something that you cannot get away from.
And in whatever way you choose to do that, that is integral to the story.
That's integral to the story. And in 2026, given the context of the history of this world, casting a white person as Heathcliff, I do think is just egregious.
Yeah.
And
have you considered the fact that he's Northern?
Well, I've considered the fact that he was Northern, Kathy was speaking in received pronunciation.
Yeah. We're on the moors.
That was nonsense. And I was waiting to see the film because I really thought like, she's also cast Edgar Linton and Nellie Dean with consideration to race. And I thought, are you saying something here? Are you making a point? Is this clever? Are you even like touching on the very like criticism you're receiving in this? No, actually that felt like, oh, if I do that, maybe I won't get in as much trouble for Heathcliff.
Because it'll be a diverse film.
A really bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
But also even like getting rid of Hindley, I thought that is so, for me, that's so integral. And you've just merged,
Who's Hindley?
basically Kathy has a brother
Yeah,
and that brother marries and has a child.
yeah.
And the brother is the one that is like terrorizing Heathcliff.
Right, more than
And
the dad.
the father has his problems, but the father he's the person that brought Heathcliff home. He's the person
Yeah.
that feels responsibility to him, whether he's his child or not. I just think you've made a film where you've said it's too dense, complicated to do,
Yeah.
but you've thrown away half the book to put in things that are just nonsense
Yeah.
and
That don't
lightweight
add to
and
the story.
basic.
And I really was trying to work out what is it that what's her take on this? Because she famously, like, she's talked about how much she loved it as a child and she wasn't trying to make the book. She was trying to make the feeling that she had reading the book as a child. And I came away from that like, what feeling did you have?
I left that cinema feeling gross.
Yeah. Both of us were like, there was a lot of eye contact of like, okay, can't
Yeah.
just get through this bit. The bit with the fish and the finger in the fish mouth.
Kind of like the eggs. Like the point at which the egg's there and that's why he's back. I thought there's a version of
so
this story.
dumb.
But there was a version of that story where I was like, oh, maybe that was one of the only things that shocked me.
She knows he's back because she sat on some eggs.
That's one of the only things where I went, oh,
yeah,
he's changed something and that's why he's back. Like,
okay, sure.
I would love to be more positive. What I love about this book is the two halves.
Yeah.
And the duplication of the main three in a younger generation. And like that ultimately you leave the book with a feeling that like violence can be calmed and reduced and solved, and that
there's redemption there.
People can change, life can change, things can get better.
And actually came away feeling like pretty irredeemable. I honestly thought when she died, I thought it's probably for the best. I know that's not the feeling in the book.
Also, you put in all these random things and you didn't do like her ghost at the window.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it was big and visual, you could have done some amazing things with like the actual story. And I really think like having her die and her babies died is just like a horrible swing that is like, it's not just like, oh, I've changed some things in the book. It's like, that is fundamentally the story and you are just.
And so in the book, her baby doesn't die.
She dies in childbirth. It's horrible. But then it reads this second half of the book.
I would have found that hard to watch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of it.
It's all hard.
Yeah.
I feel like horrible being so slatey about it, but I also want to be honest about, we're not just like trying to be like, we'll have a really like extreme take on this because.
I wanted to love it. I can't say that enough. Like I wanted to have like time of my life.
I thought I would enjoy it because I don't have a fond fondness for the book. And I actually think, I mean, did it make me enjoy it less or not? I'm not sure. But I just felt like, I don't feel like that was a full film. It felt like maybe the first half, I felt like it was much more of a Pinterest board of like aesthetics, costume. But then as it got weirder and I didn't feel like the weirdness had a point to it, then I started to feel like, okay, it's not just aesthetics and vibes anymore. And I don't like the direction that it's going in. I just was waiting for it to end.
One of my red flags actually was at the beginning that like the idea of them as kids, as that was happening, I was like, this isn't good. And the reason that was my red flag is because like that to me is the core of it. Like I don't think the fact that they might fancy each other, might be sexual romantic partners is interesting. What I think is interesting is that they grow up in unconventional closeness of potentially being half siblings or just growing up like siblings, but coming from such different places with different prospects and different understandings of the world. That they find something in each other that kind of is what gets them through their childhood. Like they find that joy and play and closeness there that they can't understand. Ultimately, the whole book for me, like good, evil, heaven, hell, life and death, like everything is like vast and massive and sublime. This film reduces it to like sex can be naughty, like
not even very sexy sex.
Not even sexy sex. There wasn't joy. There wasn't any joy in it. I didn't even.
No, I found it completely joyless.
Yeah.
I like none of the characters I was invested in.
No.
At all. I didn't really have anyone to root for. And then the story didn't feel strong enough to pull me through. So then I think you're just like, what? Why am I here?
Presumably that's not made you want to read the book?
No, not at all.
Which is such a shame for me because I like.
The bit that has made me want to read the book is how upset you were coming out of the cinema at how much wasted potential there was. And you being like, the book is like one of the best things ever. And like, it got you fired up talking about the book. And I was like, well, that does sound like a story that I would want to invest in more so than what I've just watched. I've never had a situation before where the hype and the experience have been so mismatched.
Yeah.
But other people might disagree.
Other people might disagree, and that's great.
And
I
we know
hope
some people who've really enjoyed
some
it.
people that loved it and like cried for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, and some of the reviews, not too many, but some of the reviews have said like it's sexy, it's a romp, it's a romance.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah. So I'm really interested, as we've probably watched it quite early.
Yeah.
It will be in cinemas for a few weeks at least.
There's loads of hype. I'm sure lots of people listening to this podcast will go.
Yeah.
And we would love to know what you think.
And if you disagree with us, like if you
totally fine.
Totally. Yeah.
Welcome. You're welcome to.
Yeah. Just upsetting.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe in my lifetime I will get a good one.
Yeah. We live
That'd
in
be
hope
nice.
for the next one.
Maybe a TV series. Maybe it needs to be longer. Maybe that's the problem. We will be back. Not in 2 weeks, in 1 week.
Yes, we're back with classics with a twist. So building on the Wuthering Heights theme and talking about some other kind of retellings of the classics. This time, all versions that we heartily approve of.
Stack is an independent podcast production.
It is produced by Jake Williams and Ella Horne.
Our theme music was created by Thomas Clarke.